Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with a Seven of Pentacles, right? This is something that I think we are sort of waiting for, right? I think that you've been putting a lot of diligent effort into something, and we're kind of sitting around thinking, okay, when's it going to do something, right? When's it going to grow? When am I going to get some fruit off of this, I don't know, strawberry bush, or whatever it is? So I feel as if you have a strong sense of commitment. I feel like you show up every day, you keep putting in work. We're getting to the point where we really need to see something. This is energy that has started to grow, and then maybe it sort of stopped. Maybe you saw some progress at the beginning of something, and then it fizzled out a little bit, or it never moved past a certain point, right? Some people call this card failure. And I think, yeah, okay, we could call it failure, but failure only if it means we're still striving for success. Okay, this is success unfulfilled, and we're still working on it. So you're very tenacious. You have a certain perseverance about you right now. I think you're really pushing forward for something, and it's going to manifest, and it will be yours. You're not giving up. You're not quitting. You're putting in the work every day, and you're thinking, okay, any minute now, something's going to hit, Let's put this into some context. Okay, let's lay out our other cards here. We've got a Ten of Swords. And we got a Prince of Swords. The Lover's card. Very interesting. An Ace of Wands. Okay, I see sort of something going on here. We see an Eight of Swords there now in the future position. However, we see a Three of Wands over here. A Ten of Wands. A lot of like low number cards, right? I mean, low on the tree. We have the 10, we have 7, 8, we have a 10 over here too. More fire energy with the Princess of Wands. And finally, look at that, a Six of Cups. All of this work is paying off. This is the fortune and glory. All the rewards are yours at the end of this. See, the outcome card really shows all of this. Well, really, fire and air. That's all centered around this earth energy. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down over here. We're going to put our very own Kelly Kapoor right on top. Shout out to Mindy. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put a prediction down in the comments, okay? Let's use this as an opportunity to exercise our intuition, all right? I think it'll be fun. All right, let's take a look around the room here. We've got just this major arcana, the Lover's card. This is kind of like all of your eggs are in this basket. This is something that you've been inspired to do, to work on, to engage with. This is an endeavor that you feel there's nothing else you could be doing right now. Like, this is it. This is the one. This is the true love. This is the thing. It could be a relationship, sure. The Lover's card does not always talk about romance, but it is that commitment, that connection. It is that attachment and that inspiration from something, right, that keeps us going. And this really is the only major arcana card we have. So this is what it's all about. And I think this is why you have this sort of energy, like this has to work, right? It has to. So we have our major, we have fire, 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 fire. And we've got no water except at the end. But that's okay because we don't have any earth except at the beginning, right? So the actions, the physical world, material world events, right? The changes, the developments on the physical plane will lead to this pleasure, satisfaction, love, connection, this joy, this bliss, the Six of Cups is like happiest day of our lives, right? So we can see the connection between the earth then bringing about that water energy. It has to go through a lot of this air though, right? Air, air, air. Fire, 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 right? To get to the water. So there's a lot of, with the fire and the air sort of battling each other here, I feel like you're recognizing, especially when we talk about the 10 of Swords, because this really could be that part of you that really wants to throw in the towel. This is that the ruin, right? The destruction of the plans. There's no meat on the bones here. It's just, it's dust. It's done. It's cashed, right? It's nothing. We understand by the rest of this air energy, the fire energy here, that sometimes we have to overpower these negative thoughts. That sometimes we may entertain a lot of thought, especially like at the end of the day when you're thinking, man, maybe tomorrow I should just quit. Maybe I should just back out of this. Maybe I should break up with this person. Maybe I should quit this job. Maybe I should just leave this whole business. And we have those thoughts maybe at the end of the day, but then in the morning you wake up and you're energized, you're fired up. We've got the fire here that sort of overrules the thought process. Okay, and it's okay to have these thoughts. We're going to do a Language of Flowers affirmation card to help us in that regard. But I see it as really a battle between the fire, the will, your passion, your energy, and of course the thoughts, right? Mainly the negative thinking. And we have health. Focus on all parts to make the whole. Yeah, all parts. We have a 10 of Swords. It sort of represents all parts, right? Because it's all 10 of the Swords. Leads me to believe that there's something missing from this. There's a certain key that you'll find that will unlock the rest of the energy for you, right? We've got a 7 of Pentacles. We want a 10, right? So we're missing a couple. I think that there is something that you're overlooking, something that you're not seeing, maybe because we are distracted in our thoughts. Now we look at let's look down here at the Prince. Because the Prince is usually some very fixed air energy, and usually fixed air is good, Prince of Swords. Because this is usually you entertaining one thought, the thought of success, the thought of, the image, the visualization, whatever you want to call it, of your success. There's one thought in your mind, right? So we don't have that though. We've got an 8, we've got a 10. So this fixed thought is kind of fixed in the way of being stuck, right? And so it could be that you're looking at something only one way. And we need to look at it from different angles to see what it is we're missing that can unlock that 7 of Pentacles and create the fortune and glory, right? Create the 10 of Pentacles. I have hopes for that mystery card. So sometimes the very fixed and disciplined and narrow thinking can be a good thing, right? We stay focused. But if we're focused on the wrong thing, sometimes that's hyper-focus and we lose more of the 360 perspective, okay? We talked about the Lover's card a little bit. I think that there was a moment when this all began where you felt like you were hit with an arrow in the heart and you just said, yes, this is what I need to do. This is the one, whether it's a business thing, creative thing, could be a family thing, could be a relationship, could be some spiritual work. It could be some self-development sort of thing, right? It could be any or all of these things, but there was a real inspiration for you to do this. And I feel as if there's some symbolic act where you put all of your eggs in the basket, that you really said, this is it. This is, everything's riding on this now. That you invested everything that you have into this. Yeah. And so it has to work, right? Because I feel like this is your sense of destiny. This has a feeling as if it's a spiritual quest. This is the only, let's say, spirit energy we have in the read. It's the only major arcana, right? So I feel that this really is your destiny. This really is your sense of what you're meant to do, okay? I apologize for my squeaky chair. I got to get some of that spray stuff. Let me know what you think of the squeaky chair. So I kind of like it sometimes, right? But then maybe it's too distracting. This is essentially who or what you're identifying with in your life. And I feel that there's really this deep, and there might be other reasons too. I feel there's this deep need for it to work. Okay? Because it is essentially who you are. Now, maybe there's financial or social kind of things that go along with it, of course. But in that deep spiritual sense, this has to work because this is you. And if this doesn't work, then who are you, right? So there's an identification with all of this. Now, with the Ace of Wands up at the top above the swords, it's telling me too that there's this need for you to use your willpower to override the negative thinking, or to override the fixed thinking even, right? Use your willpower to get out of the narrow focus and start looking at the 360, okay? This is also telling me that between these two cards, that there is sometimes even in you that desire to sort of throw in the towel, and this may be a questioning, am I meant to do something else? Should I start something totally different, right? And we see that sort of echoed here with the Princess of Wands in the position of what we don't want. We don't want to be impulsive. We don't want to do anything rash. We don't want to think, well, because this is, so far, doesn't look like it's flourishing yet. Well, if that's how it's going to be, then I'm just going to be done with that. I'm going to go do something else. And that's kind of a Princess of Wands, a little bit of that impulsivity. I think the Ace of Wands up here is also sort of representing, in a way, that light bulb, where we can see now what really is going on and what the sort of missing pieces are. Okay? And this is up above everything. And this is, it's kind of a paradox, because we want to have a singular will. We want to be focused and concentrated and committed. Right? We want to have that unified aspiration toward the success of this thing. But at the same time, we have to allow our mind to look at different things, to put pieces together, to make connections, to get the 360 view. Right? So we want the fixed will, but not the fixed mind. Right? And that, of course, is a risky business. Here's the Eight of Swords. There's a tendency to overthink, and we've got to be careful with this. We want to think. We want to analyze, but not overmuch, you know, because we do that. And then, of course, this is essentially being, it's sort of wrapping us up in this tangle of wires. You know, we think that if a little bit of thinking and structuring and organizing and connecting the dots is good, then a lot must be better. But a lot is going to put you right back in this fixed thinking. We don't realize that, but overthinking is going to just lead to us getting stuck. We got to think and analyze, I guess, just the right amount. Okay? So we need this card, but not too much of it. Because this is us like putting the push pins in the corkboard and then taking the thread and creating all the connections and stuff. A little bit is good, but too much, and we're just going to be like covered in the thread and the tangle of wires, and it's going to be a mess, you know. So we're careful with this one. But that takes us over to the path of the Serpent. Okay, and as we do these cards, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is free. And it does support the channel, and I appreciate that. Let's see what we got now. We got the Three of Wands down here. The Three of Wands is us analyzing our identity. We're taking that Ace of Wands, and we're sort of looking at it in three parts. we're looking at the will itself, this sort of aspiration or the impulse to do this project or this work or this relationship or whatever it is. And we're also analyzing how we feel, and we're also kind of checking in with not how we think really, but making sure that our beliefs and our values are still sort of in harmony, right? So this is your integrity. This is your sense of character. I think you're somebody who always tries to do the right thing. And sometimes when we see that Seven of Pentacles in the environment, in the outside world, in the work that we're doing, right? Because this is a card that looks pretty dark, right? Depending on the lighting in here, it might just seem like a blank black card. There is life here, right? There is something growing. It needs a little more sunlight. It needs a little bit more of something. Those 3 extra pentacles, what it is we're trying to discover, right? It just so happens that we have a 3 here. Add that to our 7 of Pentacles, well, we get the 10. So I think there's some synergy here. But when we see that darkness, when we see that something has grown a little bit and then it's just sort of stopped, we start to wonder if we're doing the right thing. We start to wonder if maybe, is there something wrong with me? Did I do something wrong in this situation? So we're analyzing our actions, our behaviors, our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, our values. We're making sure that what we identify with is still kind of the way we're expressing ourselves, right? So I think that this is a good check-in with your energy to make sure that you're still on the same page. And to make sure it's kind of a going back over the steps that we've taken to get here. Again, it's part of this analysis, but not over much. We have to trace our steps backward and make sure that we didn't do anything wrong along the way. Did we make a mistake somewhere toward the beginning or the middle, right? Or yesterday or even this morning? So we just go through and sort of check in with our actions and make sure everything's squared away. Okay. Everything's cool. I did everything right. We can move on, you know. But this is, I think, a really good way for us to sort of reharmonize with our will, with our intent. Okay? Because we have the intent up here with the ace, and the 3 is just really, the Trinity is a unity. The 3 of Wands is really just the ace, but expanded into 3, right? It's just supposed to be all together. So we're just taking a look at our intent and sort of revitalizing it, you know, recharging that intent so that we can wake up in the morning and feel like this is still my thing. This is still something that has to work, you know. We see a 10 of Wands in the position of the environment. Now, sometimes this card is about letting your foot off the accelerator a little bit. Sometimes this card is saying that you got some neck or back pain going on. Sometimes this card says that we're relying too much on somebody else. But it could be the exact opposite of that. It could be saying you need to hit the gas more. It could be saying that you're not relying on other people enough, right? It could be saying that you have a lot more gas in the tank and you're still feeling pretty good, feeling pretty loose. You still got some more miles in these muscles, you know? The idea is that you have to understand for yourself which version of this card is true for you. If we were to, let's say, think about it, analyze it, but then also step back and use our higher discernment, use our intuition, what is this card telling you? Maybe leave a comment down below. Is this card saying that you need to put in more effort or less? Are you relying too much on other people or not enough on somebody else, a partner, associates, whatever it is? Because just like the 8 of Swords, this card is it's kind of right on the edge of being dangerous, you know? Sometimes this could be codependence. Sometimes this is the appropriate amount of interdependence, and that's what we're striving for, I think, is this balance. We've got a lot of heavy cards today. You got a 10, a 7, an 8, another 10. We're striving for that harmony, that balance, which we get with the 6 of Cups by the end of this reading. But to get there, we've got to figure out what we're doing with this 10. This is important because this is how you are relating to the environment. And it really is going to take this sort of self-awareness that we see with the 3 of Wands. How are you relating to other people in your life right now? Are you pushing too hard or not enough? Are you accepting the cooperation of others, or are you pushing people away? Okay. And you can't skip this step of the 3 of Wands because there is something that you're missing here. There's some reason why this needs the 3, really, to unlock it and create the best possible outcome to give us that 10, right? To give us a 10 of Pentacles, essentially. But we need this sort of self-awareness, this introspection, to unlock what's missing here. And it might be this idea of unlocking what's missing might not be anything that you really need to do, except for perhaps step back and let other people finish their part of it, or to make some space, make some room for others to come in and do what they need to do for this, right? So maybe we just need to give it a little bit of room to breathe. We've got that 10 of Swords, the 8 of Swords. That's really kind of claustrophobic air energy. The air is really thick. Maybe we need a little bit of fresh air. Maybe we need a fresh perspective. Maybe we need somebody else to come in and look at things. Or we need to perhaps push harder, perhaps double our efforts, though I don't think so. I have my opinion about what this card's doing here. And I think it might be really one of backing off a little bit. We're smothering this poor strawberry bush or vine. I guess they grow on vines. We're smothering this thing. We need to back off a little bit and just kind of let it do its thing, let it grow, right? The atmosphere is too heavy that 7 of Pentacles is what we get, right? So that's the big thing we have to be aware of, and we have to do this exercise of self-awareness. Because the Princess of Wands, again, is sort of this impulsive thing that, as soon as we say, am I pushing too hard or not enough, we sort of just want to react. And we think, I need to do more. Or we need to do less. And so we do something extreme. We do something really impulsive, and we just sort of just take off and leave, It's kind of like somebody who, in a relationship even, if somebody says, hey, you're smothering me a little bit, and then our reaction is to just ghost them. We go the other extreme of things, Or somebody says, hey, I need a little bit more attention, and then you're just calling them over and over and over again, and then you start going from one extreme to the other. In Sagittarius, that's important for you, okay? So the Princess of Wands here is very, very tied in with the earth and fire energy. It's kind of like this fiery impulse that leads straight to behavior with nothing to sort of slow it down. That's why we need a little bit of the air energy, so we need the analysis, we need the self-awareness, so that we don't do things impulsively, we don't react in that way to things. That we don't go from one extreme to the other, when I think what we really want, what we really need, like this 6 of Cups, is balance. Okay? And this is what it's all about. This is the fortune and glory. This is all the rewards being yours. Okay? This is the sun in Virgo. And to me, what it really is doing, it's saying that we have shone the light on these 7 pentacles, and we've seen what the missing pieces are, and we've allowed that to happen, or we've helped to provide what that need is, to satisfy that need, and things have grown. Things have grown, and I think this is you really leaping for joy in the best day of your life. This is the happiest moment that you've ever had, okay? And, we'll see about the mystery card, but maybe this is when all the success, kind of happens, and we're able to reap the rewards, maybe. Maybe this is the happiness, the joy that you feel when you realize what the missing piece was. And then you tinker a little bit, and now it's going to grow just fine. That's the happiest day, right? As it is now, this work is sort of devoid of a lot of feeling. I think there's frustration. I think there's a little bit of maybe anger, maybe some exhaustion for sure. But there's really so far there's been, it's pretty dry over here, right? I mean, it's air and fire. It's pretty dry. What you're looking for is a drink of water, right? So I feel that it's sort of lacking in the depth of emotion. It's the depth of feeling. Where's the joy? Where's the satisfaction? Where's the love? Where's the real connection, right? Where's the pleasure in all of this? That's maybe what you're asking. Where the heck is the water energy, right? We see all the earth here is getting dry by the fire and the air, really hot and dry, right? And we need some refreshment. So that really could be, you're looking at what's missing here. You're trying to figure out why it doesn't have that water energy, And you're discovering it, and I think it's happening. Yeah. I want to look at the mystery card. I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. I want you to tell me what that Ten of Wands means for you. Okay. Obviously, for the mystery card, I want like a 9 or a 10 of cups, right? Or a 9 or a 10 of pentacles would be great. But in fact, any water energy, I think, would be a pretty good start, don't you? Put your prediction in the comments. Here we go. It is the Hierophant. The Hierophant here, that's the way, that's the guide. First of all, the Hierophant is your higher self. It is your own spiritual guide, your own spiritual authority. Okay? That's what we have to default to. But this, I think, is also you making room for, the expert to come in. If let's say we're trying to grow that strawberry bush or vine. I don't know if let me know, is it a bush or a vine? I don't know. We're trying to grow these strawberries, and we just can't get it to work. Maybe we got to call somebody we know. Maybe we got to go to the nearest garden center and ask the questions, There's nothing wrong with that. And the 10 of Wands too, right? Maybe we need to ask somebody. It could be as simple as that. And I find you to be a person that doesn't like to do that. Like, you don't like to ask for directions. You're that arrow, right? You always tend to know where you're going, and if you don't, you'll figure it out, or you'll act like you do, So I don't think you're somebody that likes to ask for help or ask for directions, but maybe we need to ask for directions this time, okay? Because this is so important. Pride and everything can just go out the window. We can ask, hey, I'm trying to grow this strawberry thing, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Can you look at it? But I think ultimately, like I said, this is your higher self. This is you having to trust your own divine authority. Okay? Now, we're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below in the video description. New readings for Sagittarius every Wednesday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. Okay? If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is free. And definitely leave some comments. Okay? I love reading. It's like my favorite part of this is reading all the comments from all of you. And I'll do my best to respond. I do read every single comment. It takes me a long time, but I do. Anyway, yeah. I love you. I thank you. And we're all in this together.